Hello, Jeff Helvin here with Ballen Brands, and today I am going to show you how to get your leads that come in from listings to leads into your Infusionsoft CRM automatically using the third-party program Zapier. So we're going to jump in here and take a look. So the first thing we're going to do is we're logged into Zapier, and then we're going to basically just tell it what we want to do here. So it's saying connect this app, so we want to connect listings to leads with this one, Infusionsoft by Keep, and then we want to tell it what to do. So when this happens, so when a new lead comes in to listings or leads, then we want it to either create or update an existing contact. So in most cases, it'll be creating a new contact. We get a new lead in listings or leads, and it will automatically create the lead in Infusionsoft. Of course, we'll get more into launching campaigns and so forth later. So we went ahead and set that up. So listings leads a new lead, goes to Infusionsoft to create a new contact. So we want to use this Zap. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to connect the two accounts. Obviously, we want to make sure it's our listings leads account and our Infusionsoft account in order to connect the correct ones. So I'm going to click here to sign into listings leads. And in this case, I'm actually already signed in. And this is actually a client account that we're working on, and it's asking for the API key from listings to leads. Again, another security measure to make sure we're connecting the right account. So it tells us we're going to, in listings to leads, go to Profile, CRM Integration, and then Zapier. So I'm going to go over here to listings to leads. I'm going to click on Profile, and we're going to go to CRM Integration, and then we're clicking on Zapier. So we don't have one already, so we're going to go ahead and click Generate Zapier Key, and I'm going to copy that key, go back to my main screen here, paste that in, and yes, I'm going to continue. Okay, so now the listings to leads account is set up, and then I'm going to sign into the Infusionsoft account. Now I happen to have access to a lot of Infusionsoft accounts, so my screen will look slightly different, because this tells me all the different accounts that we can connect to. But in this case, I'm finding our client here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it opens up that account. And there we go. So now I'm going to choose his out of our list here, hit allow. Okay, so now these two accounts are connected. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Turn on Zap, which is now, okay, so I've seen this happen where sometimes it doesn't actually, just the default Zap doesn't work, so we go to advanced mode, which basically just means there's a lot of different options and measures. It's not going to make those assumptions for you. So we're going to go ahead and click on the go to advanced mode, and it's letting us pick in basically what we're going to create here. So in this case, it has a few different options. So we can choose one, and what it's doing is just making sure that we're connecting the right information. So it's pulling in a sample lead that it just pulled in. So this happens to be a lead that doesn't have any data in it. Same with this one, like their first name and last name and so forth is not entered. So this particular account doesn't already have one in there. So if you did already have one in there, it'll actually show real data that you can see. But since we know what we're doing here, we're going to go ahead and click on Continue. And then it's showing us that these are our apps that we can connect to. So I went ahead and clicked on that. And now, again, by default, it has this Create or Update Contact, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to hit Continue. So it shows, okay, so my Infusionsoft account's now connected here. So I'm going to continue. Okay, so now it lets us choose what we're going to do. So it shows we're actually going to put, so see this little icon, this shows it's the Infusionsoft email field, and then an Infusionsoft action set if we're adding one, Infusionsoft how to check for duplicates. So this is all our Infusionsoft fields and commands. So what we're doing is we're then adding to each of these our, like what we're going to pull into that field. So in this case, it already has the email address in there. So see, I can just click email. So it's already done that for us, but if that wasn't in there, then I'm just going to choose from the list over here, and I'm going to say I want the email and listings to leads to match up to the email in Infusionsoft. So action set and sequences, it shows here that basically it's all optional. So whether or not we want it to look for other additional things based on some of these other some of the other information that's in listings to leads. So in this case, we're going to leave that empty. How to check for duplicates. So remember, this Zap allows us to either create an existing contact or update an existing contact. So if someone's already in our system, we don't want it to create a duplicate. So what I'm going to do is just tell it, well, I'm going to check by email only. You can also do email and name and companies. There's different options, but we're going to say, well, let's just check by email. If it has the same email address, then we're going to consider it already an existing contact in Infusionsoft. And then opt-in, has this person opted in to receiving marketing? So this is an option here where we need to make sure that the that they're consenting to getting more marketing. So we'll want to change this to yes if you want to actually run any campaigns or anything on them. And keep in mind, there's different legalities and rules around this. So you'll want to take this kind of at your own, at your own pace as far as how what you are accepting, as far as responsibility and being able to market to them. So in this case, we'll want to say yes if we want any of the campaign emails and follow-ups to actually go out to them. So here it says first name, and it shows an example of Mickey as a first name. Last name, it shows us no data. But again, I can click on last name, and basically it's just telling us that it doesn't have any references on what to, there's no value in there to show us for proof what it is. Then we have tag names. So we have the ability to add tags from Infusionsoft. So basically the option here, of course, is to add, let's say, launch this campaign or mark them as a seller, those types of things. So what happens is when you drop this down, it's going to pull them all in, all these different tags. It also will typically do a search. So if I'm trying to do a specific launch tag, now what happens is it can't always pull in all the tags, especially in applications that have a lot of tags. It's not able to grab them all. So sometimes you might want to actually just go to Infusionsoft and just literally copy the actual tag name and paste it in here just to make sure that, but if we wanted to launch the holiday campaign, for example, we could just click that and this is what it'll do. But really it's just making a direct comparison of the name of the tag, so we can always use that. But I'm gonna just delete this for the sake of our example here. Okay, so then we can pre-fill other information, so job title, company, lead source. Now what's cool about this is you can actually choose a value of lead source if there was one in here, if that's one of the fields you collect in listings to leads, or you could actually just type in listings to leads, for example. So it would always feed this exact lead source into that field if that's how we set it up. Same thing, person type, person notes. So again, you're able to use any of the fields in Infusionsoft that you collect, and you can define them right here in this particular application. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and leave the rest of them empty. We're not going to define anything else here specifically. Every app has a different number of fields here. So then I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Alright, so then it's giving me a sample. So email is this, here's your action set, nothing. How to check for duplicates is email. So basically it just gives you a recap of everything you're doing here. And then send test to Infusionsoft. So a test contact was sent to Infusionsoft just now. So now you can actually go in and into Infusionsoft and make sure that that test went in there. So basically if everything looks good, you're ready to turn the Zap on, you can turn it on. And in this case, it is a premium feature, so you either have to upgrade now to that or try it for a few days if you want to see how that works out. And that is all you need to do to connect Infusionsoft and listings to leads so that any leads that you're getting in listings to leads will automatically get entered into Infusionsoft. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.